What's up, Pagosa Springs? You're tuned in, KWUF Studios, 106.01 FM. And I am joined today by my good friend, Rich Moran, hailing in from the Twin Cities in Minnesota. We're going to be talking AMC, what's going on with the stock, what's going on with the squeeze, and it's going to be a great conversation. Thanks for joining us. I hope you stick around. How's it going, Rich?
Hey, Dakota. Good to hear from you again. Thanks so much for having me on the show. I really enjoyed it, man. I got a real kick out of it. Had a really good time talking with you last time. And I just really appreciate the opportunity to talk about our favorite stock.
Well, it's anything but dull, that's for sure, because there's just so much going on. We're going to have issue covering it all before the end of this show. So how are your feelings right now about how things are sitting?
So I'm irritated. To be quite honest, I'm quite irritated. We have this situation where retail investors own 80 to 85% of the float, okay, the legally existing shares, and we are not controlling the price. That is highly irritating to me. On the flip side of that, I know that this is the difficult time before the smooth sailing. I know that the DD has been done. The thesis is the same, that we are in a situation where we can be confident, determined, and hopeful. I am all those things at the same time. But it's okay to be irritated when you see your favorite stock become subject to algorithmic trading and a sell-off that's kind of unexplainable. It's irritating.
I'm a firm believer if there wasn't something going on with this stock, there wouldn't be this much attention around it.
One of the things that gives me a lot of hope and irritation at the same time, when I look at the Fidelity buy-sell numbers, every day when you go to Fidelity, who deals almost entirely with retail investors, there's a chart. It shows the buy orders that come in and the sell orders that come in. And for the last 3 weeks, consistently, every day we've had, in some cases, the ratio has been 2 to 1. 2 to 1 for buy orders versus sell orders. You're like, okay, wow, more people are buying than selling. But the price is going down. This doesn't make any sense. And so that's where, on the one hand, you're like, all right, we're doing it. Apes are holding. They're not just holding, they're buying more. But the price is going down. So that's what I mean when I say I'm confident yet irritated.
We're stuck in the matrix. This is gameplay. And I want to segue into a clip from CEO Adam Aron. This aired in November of 2019, closing out a quarterly report where he identifies that the stock has been a victim of short selling. And if he only knew what was coming, this clip, it's very poignant.
Yeah, actually, this was a great earnings report for AMC that we issued this morning before the market opened. We did report an all-time third quarter high for ticket sales and ticket admissions to our theaters, a strong improvement to our business, especially in Europe. Our food and beverage sales at an all-time record. Our EBITDA, which is really the basic unit of measurement for our company, was up 33% year over year when you adjust out a non-cash accounting change, something called ASC 842. So we really had great results, and the stock actually went right up after we announced. We've been the victim of some short selling during the year. There might have been some game playing with our stock today. But as I said, most people who follow the company closely thought this was a very strong record-setting quarter for AMC.
CEO Adam Aron shedding some light there. It has definitely been gameplay. Rich, your comments on this.
Okay, that is excellent. I'm glad I heard that. I haven't actually heard any of the other media talking about AMC quote that. It's quite interesting when you hold that statement in contrast to tweets that Adam Aron made just on July 30th. And I'm going to read one of those tweets to you right now. Many of you continue to be concerned about the AMC share count. In early June, we announced an all-inclusive share count of 513,330,240 legally issued shares. Precisely 0 new shares have been issued by AMC since then. As to the existence of so-called fake or synthetic shares or the naked short selling of AMC shares, we are unaware of any information validating these theories. Also, we are unable to make any comment on the considerable trading of puts, calls, derivatives, end quote. All right. So when When I heard this tweet, there's actually a famous YouTuber came out and just slammed Adam Aron. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to mention that YouTuber's name, but like it was cause for alarm when I heard this. I was like, okay, well, I need to check this out. After dissecting this tweet, I'm actually very, very happy with this tweet. There's a lot in there, what he says, if we take a closer look at it. In early June, we announced the all-inclusive share count of, he gives you the exact number of legally issued shares, and he emphasizes legally issued shares. It's essentially saying any other shares are crimes. And if there's any more than this, he is really nailing down the position. It's this many shares, and if there are any others, they're criminally produced. I know he's not saying that, but he is saying that. Precisely 0 new shares have been issued by AMC since then. Here's what it doesn't say. It doesn't say that's all the shares that have been issued. What it doesn't say is, hey, there could be other shares out there that were issued by someone else or another entity. As to the existence of so-called fake or synthetic shares or the naked short selling of AMC shares, we are unaware of any information validating these theories. It doesn't say he's unaware of information. It says that anything validating. I think that's a key point. Like, look, we don't have the proof, and we are unable to make any comment on the considerable. It's funny that he put this in there. We are unable to make any comment on the considerable trading of puts, calls, derivatives. There has been some due diligence that's been done on the Reddit forums. There are holdings of AMC in offshore accounts, Brazil to be specific, and they have to report these, so they appear in the FINRA report for one day, and because they're losses, they disappear. Like they are moved out of that into an offshore account. Now, I don't know how they are able to pull that off, but this is what, I mean, we're talking about millions of losses, okay, are being reported to FINRA, and then for one day they appear, and then when you go to check the next day, it's gone. And so I don't know. You're going to have to look at some of the stuff stated by Peter Hahn, he's out there exposing a lot of the dark pool stuff, a lot of the things that are going on with AMC. I believe he's a former market maker, a trader himself. He has exposed there's massive losses that are being held in offshore accounts, and he mentions Brazil in particular. I don't know what his DD is on all that. I think it's something that is going on. I think there's a lot to it. I think it's something that we can all take a closer look at.
So look at Adam Aron here. He came out in this 2017 or this 2019 clip that I just played and was able to say we're the victim of some short selling and gameplay. Skip to the Trades interview where he doesn't come out and say it. He has to do this little internet joke thing where the camera falls and he's not wearing any pants, and it's this, subtle, low-key way of conveying, hey, we're being naked shorted. And now this string of texts sounds like it was written by a lawyer compared to his previous tweets. This is meant to be parsed apart. The way that you're interpreting this, I believe it to be correct. We have to look at equally at what he is saying and what he is not saying.
Absolutely. It's certainly a much more serious tone. You know what I mean? It's not off the cuff. It's, hey, he's actually putting it in. I know it's a tweet, but nonetheless, it's still in writing, if you will. He's not just saying it to a group of investors over a microphone. He's pretty much putting this out there into the world. I couldn't agree more, man. I think that he has to be very careful with what he says. It's serious. It's quite serious.
And we have to take his social media interactions seriously as well, because this is how he's communicating with his shareholders. Look at coming up, this next AMC shareholder meeting is going to be live streamed. They're going to be taking questions from live stream audience members.
This is just one of those things that makes AMC such an incredibly different stock than anything else on the stock market. You do not have a CEO who's reaching out on levels like this. Look, when the book is written, there will be a solid, very thick chapter on how Adam Aron has changed the game with CEO and investor relations. This guy is really pioneering how the upper strata of the leadership in the stock, how they communicate with the investors. It's really great.
I want to play this clip one more time. There's something else I want to emphasize in here, but let's just refresh it.
Actually, this was a great earnings report for AMC that we issued this morning before the market opened. We did report an all-time third quarter high for ticket sales and ticket admissions to our theaters, a strong improvement to our business, especially in Europe. Our food and beverage sales at an all-time record. Our EBITDA, which is really the basic unit of measurement for our company, was up 33% year over year. when you adjust out a non-cash accounting change, something called ASC 842. So we really had great results, and the stock actually went right up after we announced. We've been the victim of some short selling during the year. There might have been some game playing with our stock today. But as I said, most people who follow the company closely thought this was a very strong record-setting quarter for AMC.
Does this sound like a company worth shorting? I mean, this is fundamentally a company that makes moves, is bringing in returns, is setting records. I mean, this obviously was pre-pandemic. If we look at how the company functions, this is a fundamentally sound company.
Yes, they really turned the heat up on the short selling at the beginning of the pandemic. I mean, there's just no question about it. They tried to bankrupt AMC. They tried to drive, this stock and other companies into the ground and make a mint off of doing so.
The hedge funds were using the pandemic, a plague sweeping across the nation, as a tool to target, identify, and destroy struggling companies that were feeling the impact of that in the worst ways. This is vile.
It's vile. It is vile. And it goes against what I know America to be. You don't do that. You help people along the way. You do your best to help people. You encourage your friends and you encourage your neighbors and you encourage along the way. If this is what American big businesses come down to, it's quite disgusting.
I want to talk about this concept of AMC being a black swan event. What led to the situation in this market, but why is it so unique?
Well, it's not unique in the sense that it was shorted. And in another way, it's not unique that it was shorted at a very difficult time in our history with dealing with the pandemic. This is what I think it makes it a black swan event is honestly the ape community. It's the people who were able to take a clear look at, wow, this is happening. This is what happened. Like they tried to bankrupt this company. We love that movie theater. Americans love going to the movies. We always have, you know what I mean? It really is a part of our culture. The people who have rallied around this stock and decided, hey, we're going to encourage and educate each other about what's going on with this stock. And we're going to punish the big money that tried to break this company. I think that's what makes one of the things that makes it a black swan event. At this point, we've got an army of very sophisticated and intelligent Wall Street insiders, YouTubers, retail investors, and we've got people on the inside helping us now and trying to bring these things to light, not trying to bring it to light. They are effectively bringing it to light. We're in a situation where we are seeing regulations come out in record time. That has never happened. Like we have made such noise that politicians are now getting active. They're being activated to do something about what's going on. I think that Americans, and particularly American investors, but any investor in AMC, I think there's a spirit of righteous anger at what's going on at these hedge funds and market makers and the regulatory authorities that have caused this and allowed it to continue. I think there is a real spirit of righteous anger. Like this is it. We have had it with this. We've always kind of known the stock market was a bit dirty and shady, but the level of depravity that has come out over this has just kind of really shocked everybody, even people who knew, it's kind of dirty and these things. Oh, another thing that makes this a black swan event, the disdain and contempt for the conventional financial media, the financial outlets, financial news outlets that have positioned themselves as authorities on what stocks are going to go up and which ones are going to go down. They have just been completely exposed as wrong and as tools of hedge funds. And I'm going to name a couple. I hope I don't get you into any trouble with your sponsors, Dakota, but I'm going to go ahead and name a couple for your listeners. We got to stay clear of CNBC, Jim Cramer, Market Watch, Seeking Alpha, Investor Place, and Motley Fool. Those are the big liars. You can almost pick and decide your portfolio on the stock market on the opposite of whatever they tell you.
You are not wrong. That's at moments in my early journey in investing, I followed those voices into red numbers. So how's the ape movement combating what is most assuredly a rigged market?
That's a really good question. I got to say, it's doing exactly what you and I are doing right now. We're doing our utmost to expose it. And it turns out they're not dumb. They understand it. They want to know more. They see it. And if they're actually watching the line on these charts, they are seeing what they can clearly identify as unusual. So I think that the exposure is the biggest thing.
So people like you and I who are, trying to do this work, the little we can on social media and our personal interactions, recruiting, members into the ape movement. But people bigger than us, people I started watching, Trey's Trades and Matt Kors, The Masked Investor, are accidentally getting identified, I put heavy emphasis on that, identified as dangerous by YouTube. Channels have been shut down and revoked. Once on the Masked Investor, twice for Matt Kors, who has never even said a curse word on his live stream. This is all supposed to be accidental. The YouTube algorithms are accidentally identifying them as dangerous. Your comments?
Yeah. So what we're seeing now is the hedge funds expand their nefarious tactics into our strongest area, where we are strongest, which is in social media and on YouTube. They are now expanding their fight against us out of the financial realm and into our realm. And in my view, even with those little tiny battles that they won, they're really great failures. Yeah, they're infiltrating our chat rooms. They are infiltrating our groups. They are paying companies to do these bot attacks in our groups and chat rooms. And how many times do you see these WhatsApp things that go on, or our YouTubers are not doing any of that. These are like coordinated attacks. When it's on the level that we're seeing it at, it's absolutely coordinated. This is what they're doing. And they're probably even have a system set up where they are making like constant complaints to YouTube about our favorite YouTubers who are commenting on the AMC stock. You got to kind of wonder, is it having an effect, on the psychology of our favorite YouTubers? I kind of really don't think so. I think that we put nothing past these hedge funds. If they want to fight in the social media battle or platforms, oh, wow, they're going to lose. They already are, Like you said, what was Matt off for one day? And then the second time, he was literally off for less than 9 hours.
And we immediately had free Matt Kors trending on Twitter.
Instantly. And the response is massive and overwhelming. Recently we had some prominent YouTubers say, hey, we're going to take a step back from talking about AMC. Here's what happened. So many apes in the community responded with, don't do that. Please stay on task. Please stay on target. We love the stock and we love your commentary on the stock. We love knowing what's going on, good or bad. Don't do that. Don't opt out. If you want to talk about other things, fine. Do not stop talking about our favorite stock. And
we're in this period of sideways trading and consolidation. And there's just not a lot to talk about.
True.
It's an echo chamber of the DD that you have to know to enter this trade, which is extremely simple. The shorts haven't covered. They have to cover eventually. Buy, hold. You can say that in as many ways as you want to, but when you're putting out, live streams that are 3-4 hours long every day of the week, you run out of ways to say that. The commentary and the technical analysis and everything is great, but when you're caught in the wedge with consolidation and sideways trading, that commentary becomes very drab. I highly doubt any of the YouTubers, especially the high-profile ones, are going to step away from covering this stock. Matt Kors, that's what he does. He live streams. That's how.
Absolutely.
He gets donations all day long through his live stream. It would be insane for him to stop. Likewise with the rest that are covering. So that's my take on it.
Mine too. Did you see? So something was trending in some of the Facebook groups, and it even tried to make its way into the Wall Street Bets community subreddits about this. They were talking about let's go dark for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I saw that. No social media commentary, no nothing, and just see how the hedge funds react. I saw that.
What's your take on that?
I don't think it's logistically possible.
Okay, so the way I look at this trade, and this is another thing that makes it an element of Black Swan, this is not a normal trade. People have developed a war-like psychology on this. We actually have an army, and we are fighting a very, very powerful money interest, okay? The idea that we are going to turn off our communication system, what we were just talking about, how we are strongest in this area, where we are encouraging each other and communicating with each other and explaining what the next move is, what this DD means, and how it all connects together. The idea that we are going to turn off our own communications with each other is absolutely ridiculous. It's one of two things. It's either an idea that has been given absolutely no thought, or it was very crafty and planted thought. Before you invade a country, and there we go with the warlike psychology, before you invade a country, if you can kill the enemy's communication lines first, that's what you do. you kill their communication and then you invade. I think it's a very, very ridiculous kind of idea that we're going to go dark. Our strategy is simple. We buy and hold, and the hedge funds and the market makers, they know that's our strategy. They know they're like running up against a wall, and that's the wall we have. We buy and we hold. We're not letting go of anything.
If we went dark, the new apes would just see all of a sudden something they bought into, everything goes silent, and maybe they're not following the same platform. It takes a while to get into the circles where you're confident with the information you're getting. I think it might cause a lot of problems more than any benefit to us. I don't see any. The cost benefit analysis has returned, and I don't see it as a good option.
I couldn't agree more. It stifles growth. If you were interested in the AMC play and you go online to check it out, and you're not really seeing anything, or the more intelligent voices have decided to go silent. Oh, what the heck? You might be dissuaded. You know what I mean? From buying the stock and joining the movement. And we are about recruiting. I actually got into an argument with someone online. I don't call it an argument, a difference of opinion, really. He was saying, hey, I'm not trying to recruit anybody. Well, you need to speak for yourself. What is this we stuff? You should be saying I. And I'm like, brother, my take on this is very different from yours. If you're looking at the AMC trade as just another trade, that's fine. I'm glad to have you as a fellow investor in the stock that we both love. But my take on it is quite different than that. I do have a we mentality, and I know that our strength comes from all of us holding our shares strong together.
That's our hashtag, Apes Strong Together.
Right.
Enough said. You summed it up perfectly. We're strong together, and we need to emphasize anything that promotes that connectivity. So we talk about apes being strong together, and I want to know your opinion on what you think the main strength of Ape Nation is.
The main strength of Ape Nation is we're standing on the moral high ground. We're not just trying to make money. Yes, we are trying to make money, but we're also trying to get back our parents' money from the 2008. We're also trying to send a message to these the powers that be that this is not acceptable, that our markets have no integrity, and that we want an even playing field. We're sending the message that this can't go on like this anymore. The retail investor is being taken advantage of in so many ways. You need to catalog it. There's the high frequency trading, the dark pools, synthetic shares, naked short selling. It goes on, offshore accounting. It just goes on and on. That's just what I can name off the top of my head. So we're sending a message that we need Wall Street reform. And if we do this right, guys, we're going to make a lot of money, and a lot of good is going to come out of this in the market for future generations. So I think that's our main strength, is that we are on the moral high ground. Also, the mathematics is in our favor. The mathematics is 100% in our favor. This is why so many people can say, "Hey, I'm taking a step back from it. I'll check the market every once in a while, or once a day. I don't need to look at the line every day." It's because they're resting on the confidence that, look, this DD has been done, and it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time till we start to see those green candles fly up.
So we have identified our strength as a community and the tools at our disposal to make our trading decisions better and more effective. I want to identify one of the opponent's strategies, which is, we call it FUD, which is fear, uncertainty, and doubt.
They'll start a fire anywhere to get people's eyes off of AMC and to get their money out of AMC. The FUD, though, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Again, this is when we're watching that line go from green to red and just on a steady downward. Of course, we all get nervous. Of course, when it approaches territory that we really don't want to be in, or another support level gets broken and we're headed down, it's natural to be concerned, to the point of, I would say, fear. Okay, to have that uncertainty and doubt. When this happens, though, this is when we really got to call our friends. We got to call our fellow apes. We got to call the people we've recruited, and we've got to say, man, what should I do? And lean on each other. This is what I do. I'm human, guys. I believe in this stock 100%. I know all these things are in our favor, and it's all going to come out, and we're going to be, we're going to make a lot of money. We're going to be very wealthy at the end of this. But I do have doubts. How I combat it is I lean on my friends. I really do. I lean on my friends. I lean on the voices that have got us in this far. I think of what Trey Collins said. He said, we have not come this far to just come this far. That's a great quote.
I couldn't have put it better myself. How long have we been in this? Interest started raising around January on my end. I know that time frame kind of syncs up with yours.
Yeah,
I've been not invested the whole time, but following it. And I'm not going to back out, especially in the red right now. It's not going to happen. I'm here for the short squeeze. I'm staying.
Absolutely. And here's the funny thing. To me, this is not the dangerous time. Like, okay, so many apes that came in, we're going to call them second wave apes, the ones who got in June, right? The apes who got in June, okay, like, we're all in the red, all right? Like, shoot, we're worried about it, right? But really, this is like, most of these apes, we're not selling. We're not going to sell in the red. We know enough about the market not to do that, right? Things go up and down. You know what I'm really concerned about? I'm concerned about when we all go in the green. I'm concerned about when we're at $100 or $120.
And people thinking the squeeze is hit.
Yeah, man, like, dude, this thing's going to sail. You guys don't sell. Don't sell when it gets to 90. Don't sell when it gets to 100. Don't sell when it gets to 120. You're going to want to. You're going to be like, oh, wow. And, you know, this thing, like, I've been so broken down. My God, they had us down into the high 20s. What? I got to get out of this. You know, I feel like I've come back and I need to get out. That's what my fear is. My fear is that apes are going to sell. Not right now. I'm not worried about that at all. You know, it's like we're all holding the line right now. It's when we all get in the green. You know, that's where I'm worried about is, are we going to sell too early? Are we going to sell ourselves short, to use a pun?
You are convicted on Fidelity.
Yeah.
I'd like to know why. And I also want to know why not the other ones.
Fidelity does not do the payment for order flow. Okay. It's a staple. They've been around forever. All right. So Fidelity does not accept any payment for order flow from Citadel or other market makers like Virtue. Man, payment for order flow is a major problem. This is what Citadel has done. I got to get into this a little bit. They've created essentially an alternative stock market. And this is a classic bait and switch scheme that we are all involved in. I haven't heard anybody describe it like that yet. But, you know, my background, I've come from the streets. I kind of know a bait and switch when I see it, all right? And
you know when you're getting fleeced.
So I didn't know, and most of us did not know and do not know. But this is what's actually happening. Citadel has millions of shares, maybe hundreds of millions of different favorite stocks, okay? They have basically created their own stock market within themselves. Now, this is their internal supply, these shares that they have. Let's say they have 10 million shares of AMC, okay? They just hold them. And they also have, 5 million of Apple and maybe 1 million of Amazon. This is their internal supply. So what happens is when you come along and you want to buy a share, platforms like Webull, TD Ameritrade, and Robinhood, what they'll do is they will send your orders to Citadel. Citadel doesn't send them to the New York Stock Exchange. So you are sitting in your house on your computer and you're looking at the line on the New York Stock Exchange. You are looking at this thing that you want to buy or this thing you want to sell. And then when you are making your purchase or your sell, you think that it's going to be executed and that line is going to change. Of course, it's going to add up with everyone else's and that'll determine how it changes. But that's not what's happening. You're actually your stuff is being bought and sold in a market that has nothing to do with the New York Stock Exchange. That's the crazy thing. This is why I say it's a bait and switch. You're looking at the New York Stock Exchange numbers, but your buy and sell is not going to the New York Stock Exchange. It's going to the Citadel pool, all right? Their dark pool or whatever, their off-market pool that they have, exchange. That's what's happening. And they're the ones who are the masters of that information. And it's not just you, it's everybody. So this is crazy to me. It's almost like, how can this even happen? You know, how are you showing me one thing, but that's not actually what I'm buying? So they have this internal supply of shares, and that's what they're selling us. That's what they're giving us. I think their share is depleted. I do. I think their internal supply of AMC shares is depleted. And that's where we get into the naked shorts. So when you are using the Fidelity Investments as a brokerage, your orders are going to the New York Stock Exchange. I've actually called them personally and spoken with a representative. And I would encourage anybody who is thinking about switching to Fidelity or already has Fidelity, do the same. Do the same. Give them a call. Don't be afraid. If you're a person who's not savvy in this stuff, don't be afraid of revealing your ignorance. Let them know, hey, I know about dark pools, I know about synthetic shares, and I know about Citadel, and I really want to know more. And they will pass you up the line. I'm not kidding. Like, I went in there and I started talking about dark pools, and I wanted to make sure that my trades were being executed in the New York Stock Exchange and not in a dark pool. And that guy went like this. He went like this. Okay, sir, I'm going to put you on hold for just a minute and have you talk to my supervisor. My point is this. It's very, very beneficial that they know we know and that we don't like what we're seeing. It only helps us that we let them know we're not okay with Citadel being the middleman between us and the New York Stock Exchange. What we're looking at is we're looking at the charts of the New York Stock Exchange. We want our buys and sells reflected on that chart. We want to see it, you know? And Fidelity is one of the few who assured me, it's the only one who assured me, your trades are being executed on the New York Stock Exchange. And so we can have confidence, I believe, in that. And by the way, the exodus from Robinhood and Webull to Fidelity, it's been pretty amazing.
So buying and holding is, you hear that all the time because that's our main strategy. I want to know why you think that is our version of the golden rule.
Because it takes a community to do this. It's not just I'm buying and holding for my sake. I have to buy and hold for your sake. And, one of the slogans that you hear in the chat rooms and in the subreddits is, hold for me, I'm holding for you. That's become a mantra, if you will. Hold for me, I'm holding for you. A while back, I was seeing a lot of personal stories that were hitting the interwebs, with people showing their families and talking about their struggles, working a difficult construction job or a difficult nursing job. The tenor of those stories and those videos was, please hold for me. I'm holding for you. And I really isn't that do unto your neighbor as you would like done to yourself? This is another thing that makes the AMC trade so unique and so different. We're not just in this for our own benefit. We really are holding for each other. You're holding for me. I'm holding for you. Hey, there's going to come a point where the numbers change in such a way as I'm green and I am good and I can get out. I can get out happy and confident and sure that, hey, I'm happy with this. But here's the thing. There are apes who got in after me. They're not good. And they don't have as many shares. They have fewer shares. Maybe they only have less than 100 shares. I need to hold a little longer for them. I need to do that. I need to hold my position a little longer for them. So that's why I think that this concept of buy and hold, that's our strategy, why it really is connected to what we call the golden rule. There's another answer to that too. And what could be more American than helping a business grow, than putting your investment into a business that was struggling and is now on the rebound? It's the exact opposite of what the short interest did. They tried to break AMC. They tried to bankrupt GameStop. They tried to send these businesses that are actually American favorites, into the dinosaur bin where Toys R Us is and Radio Shack. They were successful with Toys R Us and Radio Shack. They tried to do the same thing, to these businesses that Americans love. And so we're coming in on the other side of that saying, no, we believe in these companies. They're struggling and we're going to help them. We're going to buy this stock. We don't want to see the movie theaters go away. We don't want to see gaming go away. We don't want to do that.
It would seem like we're the singular heartbeat in a soulless system.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
There's enough passion and enough conviction among retail investors right now that I'm sure that AMC is going nowhere. I believe I said in the last conversation that we had, the moon is a conservative estimate. This is the mother of all short squeezes, that title is going to be earned. We're not there yet. It doesn't matter what the fluctuating price is this week, this month. Get in. If you're interested in becoming part of Ape Army, get in.
I couldn't agree more. Look, the price that AMC is trading at right now is bargain basement. Okay, it's bargain basement, and you can get a lot of shares at what we call an incredible discount. This stock is going up. They are controlling the price right now, but it is coming. They are trading price controls for tomorrow for price controls for today. What that means is we don't have price control right now, you, me, the other apes, but we are going to tomorrow. We're going to be the ones who decide, I think 350 is okay. And then other apes that are holding a mountain, I think 750 is fine. And it's going to continue to go up. And we are going to be able to be the ones that decide how high this thing goes, into the $1,000 range and beyond. Every time it's kind of a joke, you know what I mean? Like we have a new floor. Now the floor is 800,000. The longer they drag this out, the longer we say our bottom line is. They've really hurt themselves. They've hurt themselves so bad. There are so many schemes that they're not going to be able to perform anymore. This has been the greatest wake-up call the stock market has seen since 2008. They are injured. Like, it's all an illusion. And I'm going to tell you something about hedge funds. Look at Archegos, okay? Look at the savings and loan scandal, the Bernie Madoff issues. These people, this big money, and these people at the heads of these firms, they ride it until the horse is dead. They set their own buildings on fire, okay? And then they jump out the window with the bag. They are going to do that in this situation as well. You guys, we are not going to know that we are winning until they are on their last breath. They are going to fight and present this illusion that they are in control and everything is fine until the moment their buildings are collapsing. That is what's going to happen. You don't hear about any of these, Citadel is struggling or Archegos is struggling. You don't hear about that when we talk about hedge funds going belly up. Everything is fine until the instant, the moment, the second, nothing is okay. We're done. Everybody's fired. We got to get out of here. That's how this goes down. And it's going to go down like that with this too.
There's only so long you can hold on to that illusion.
So there are some things that we can do during these downtimes. Like, okay, so, all right. So Dakota, Rich, what you guys are saying is I need to buy and hold right now. This is like the best prices I'm going to get. And yes, we are saying that, but there's more you can do than just buy and hold. Okay. Number one, you need to do your research. We all need to rest in the confidence that, we've analyzed this problem. We've taken a look at it. We've heard both sides and we've made a decision that we can be confident in. So do your research is one of the things that you can do during downtimes, and I would encourage you to stick to the ape community. Stick to the ape community when you are in doubt. Stick to the ape community when you're looking for news sources on movements in the stock and new information that sheds light on what the stock is doing, and commit to it. Commit to it. It's okay to have doubts, but when you do, lean on your fellow apes. Also, in a practical light, one of the things you can do is make sure your shares are not being loaned out. This is more practicality. If you're using Webull or Robinhood, there are ways that you can go into your app and make sure that your shares are not being loaned out. This is how Citadel and other market makers are able to continue to short our stock, okay, and drive the price down. So if you're not going to outright get out of those and move over to Fidelity, then the least you can do is go into your app and make sure that your shares are not being loaned out.
And there's one other thing that I want to talk to the new investors, all right, a little bit. One of the pieces of advice that I would like to put out there, focus on how many shares you own, not how much they cost. Focus on just increasing the number of shares that you own right now. If you're looking at the market and you've seen you've lost, a couple $100 in, the last, because we had a down month, that's going to discourage you. Just focus on how many shares you can buy before the short squeeze. If you're focusing on increasing your share count rather than increasing your share, whatever your share price is, that's going to fall in line. That will follow.
I couldn't agree more. Look, I truly believe that anything under 100 is a deal, is a bargain. This thing is going so much higher than that. So if you're buying, between 30 and 90, you're going to be good. But you got to have a long range view. Let's be candid. Did we expect our favorite stock to drop into the 30s? No, we didn't. When we were holding that line between 55 and 65 for like 2.5 weeks straight, we thought, okay, the next thing that happens is we're going to see another bounce upwards. We're going to see another leg up. We did. I think we all thought that. Because the apes were so strong. I don't know what happened during that period. I don't know how the short interests were able to create these downward steps to new lows. I don't know how they did that. I think it's short selling, to be honest. But aside from that, I'm not going to blame everything on that. I know the apes weren't selling.
So I want to give you the opportunity to talk to the new investor here. Talk to the new apes coming into the movement, because it's going to be an emotional play. It's going to be an emotional ride going forward.
Stay positive. Remember why you got involved. Remember that we are punishing big money. That's big. That's a big part of this. And we're letting them know that we're fed up and we need to see change. Also, you are standing on the brink of life-changing wealth. You need to remember that. This is a very special thing that's happening. It's never happened before. And it's quite possible that they change the rules in such a way that it never happens again. Also, if you're somebody who is like a real voice, or you have a real voice, or you have the ear of your family and friends when it comes to financial matters, remember that leaders can't quit. Leaders can't quit. There's too many people behind you that need your leadership. They need your counsel. They need your enthusiasm. Leaders can't quit. And that's another thing that makes this play very different. Nobody ever shamed a YouTuber or a leader or a financial advisor for giving up the fight, you know what I mean, and changing tactics and maybe selling. But this situation is different. Everybody's reputation is on the line. We have committed to this. We got to see it through.
Well, I'm going to see you on the other side of this. I know I'm not selling and I'm not going anywhere. I know that you'll reflect that sentiment.
I hold that sentiment too.
Well, thank you for joining me today, Rich. It's been a great conversation. I think we've covered the majority of what we had lined out. Always more to talk about, though. I'm sure that we'll have even more to update the public on in no time flat.
Hey, Dakota, I got a gift I want to send you. So make sure I get the address, because I got something that I think you're going to like. And once again, it's always a pleasure to talk about a favorite stock. Hold for me. I'm holding for you.
Diamond hands, brother.
Diamond hands.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
You've been tuned in to KWUF 106.1 FM. Thank you for joining me today for this interview with my good friend Rich Moran as we talked AMC, the stock, the squeeze, what's going on in the financial world, what's going on in the markets, dark pools, everything you want to know about payment for order flow. We pretty much covered it all. Hey, if you want to find us on Facebook, KWUF 106.1 FM is what you throw in the search bar. We're also on Instagram, Twitter, wherever you're at, we're going to be there too. Check us out on YouTube. And thanks for tuning in to The Wolf.